As BP scrambles to stop oil spewing into Gulf waters, we have been tracking some disturbing questions being raised just hours after being rescued. Some of the survivors say they were coerced by the rig's operator, Transocean, into signing legal waivers, including crew member Chris Choi, who today suffers from flashbacks and nightmares over the ordeal. He joins us tonight along with his attorney, Stephen Gordon. I want to talk about this waiver, Chris, and the lawsuit that you filed against Transocean, BP, and Halliburton. You were asked by Transocean to sign this waiver that I have in my hand here.
They told me it was just a statement saying that I was off tower, that I wasn't working, and I didn't see what happened leading up to the incident. And, me and my wife were just trying to get home to see the rest of our family, and they said just, sign here, initial here, sign this.
All right, well, let's bring in your attorney, Steve Gordon. Steve, what are you contending in your lawsuit regarding this particular waiver?
I understand that they have a right to investigate the claim. However, the way they kept these crew members offshore for over 20 hours is wholly unnecessary. They could have easily brought them into Port Fourchon and talked to them there with their family members. It was just irresponsible.
And Jonathan, unimaginably, you have uncovered that BP was trying to get some of those fishermen to sign a waiver promising not to sue BP.
Yeah, this is quite extraordinary, Shep. For a lot of these fishermen, the only work they'll be able to get in the coming months is working in the cleanup operation, effectively working for BP. But BP was asking those fishermen to sign away their legal rights to accident compensation if they accepted a job, and they were forcing them to do that by signing a densely worded legal waiver that few of the fishermen we met could understand, and some of them couldn't even read. I hereby agree on behalf of myself and my representatives to hold harmless and indemnify and to release, waive and forever discharge the BP Exploration and Production Inc. from all claims and damages.
This is Mel Fabregas from the Veritas Show, coming to you with an important news bulletin. There is an absolute media blackout regarding the Gulf of Mexico oil spill. We get hearing of what seem to be unsubstantiated reports. I say unsubstantiated because, aside from the few images of wildlife covered in oil, there is nothing else. However, my stand literally changed a few minutes ago when I spoke to documentary filmmaker James Fox, who is at the closest point of this disaster. He's in Grand Isle, Louisiana, and the situation on the ground is most dire. Please know that I am in no way trying to spread any fear. I am simply reporting what you are not being told by the mainstream media. Why? Because their actions, or lack thereof, indicate that their reporting is being limited. Respective documentary filmmaker and a friend of the show, James Fox.
Basically what's happening is there's a complete media blackout. They are arresting people with cameras. They will even arrest, I was told, off camera, that if they're caught talking to a reporter, they are going to go to jail.
Wait a second, James. So this is true? What's circulating out there?
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I swear to you, I wouldn't have believed it had I been there myself. And they say, you call this a free country right here in the United States of America, and there's no freedom of press, there's no freedom of speech. They're closing down the airspace above the oil spill so reporters can't fly over just to determine how bad these oil plumes really are. You have to sign.
Who is arresting people? Who is arresting people? Who?
That's a very good question. Is it BP behind it? This is supposed to be a state park. I'm telling you right now, my partner was like, let's get the beep out of here right now. I mean, I really wanted to stay there and go to a local bar and find out more. Tomorrow I'm going to go back in there, but I'm telling you right now, they got the clamp down. It's high security. BP is taken over. As far as I know, it's BP. And the government, to some extent, must have some involvement with it. I mean, Obama was at that very location on Friday. There was no mention of all this secrecy.
James, you are a respected documentary filmmaker. You have connections with the mainstream media. Have you been able to approach the mainstream media with what you're finding?
I approached them today. I called CNN, and I said, got to call me. I got to talk to you guys. And she said, I can't call you right now. I'll call you later. And I'm waiting to get a call. I'm waiting to get a call from her. But to be honest with you, right now, I mean, whether or not I can get someone to come forward, even if they're in disguise, I mean, these people are like petrified. I mean, seriously, I've never seen anything quite like it.
Recent media reports have suggested that individuals involved in the cleanup operation have been prohibited from speaking to the media, and this is simply untrue. BP has not and will not prevent anyone working in the cleanup operation from sharing his or her own experiences or opinions, end quote.
Every security guard here has given the instructions to every single news crew. You can be with outside of 100 yards of the workers along the boom.
And who's saying that? Because nobody can tell me, unless you're the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, you're the Coast Guard, or you're the military, can you tell me where to go on this public beach?
I can tell you where to go because I'm employed to keep this beach safe. And right now, those are my instructions. I have to keep the workers safe as well.
I'm going to go and try and talk to a worker under the tent. Can I do that?
No, no.
He's on a break.
You are not allowed to interview any workers.
The workers can talk to the media, according to the BP CEO 2 days ago.
That
word still hasn't trickled down to you all?
We've already heard that one too.
Yeah.
What do you mean you've heard that one? It's true.
The email does not explicitly give you permission to do that.
There are quotes from Doug Suttles that say no one has been barred access to talk to the media, and that it's a misunderstanding, and the word hasn't trickled down to all the appropriate channels yet. That's what he said 2 days ago. So 2 days later, that word still hasn't trickled down.
The word has been, it's been briefed to us.
By whom? Who's briefing you all?
That's not important right now.
Well, if you're telling me that I can't do it, it's important that I know who's briefing you.
What's important right now is you cannot talk to the workers. You're interfering with their jobs right now.
Tonight's big story, and mystery is unfolding across Mid-South Farms. Something is killing crops, trees, even weeds, and nobody seems to be able to explain why. Thank you for joining us. I'm Richard Ransom.
I'm Claudia Barr. The farmers are scratching their heads, and some are worried their crops may be lost to the mysterious plague. It's happening along a large swath of land near the Shelby and Tipton County border, along Herring Hill Road, and elsewhere near the Mississippi River bottoms. Sean Scheibot is just back with more.
Richard, Claudia, take a close look. This is what has farmers worried. These tiny dots look as though something burned straight through the leaf, and they're finding this everywhere. The tiny dots appear different depending on the plant. On corn stalks, the dots seem to turn white in the center. On other plants, a white dust speckles the leaves, then destroys the green life underneath.
We found it all in the herbs, in the flowers, in the plum tree, in the weeds. It's apparently on everything.
Tony Holt grows organic produce that she sells at area farmers markets. As these farmers inspect the new growth covered in the perplexing plague, they fear their entire crop may be lost. Just down the road, less than 10 miles at Wilder Farms, the damage could possibly hit hundreds of acres of corn.
It's sudden, and it's so wide, it's so large out here. Everybody's seeing it.
It appears to have hit everything. Crops, weeds, trees, and there's nothing in common. The Holts raise organic crops so they don't spray pesticides on any of their fruits and vegetables. The first thought was a parasite or insect, but Wilder Farms sprays pesticides, and the damage is just the same. Farmers here first noticed the damaging dots over the weekend. Then Holt came home to find this: baby martins dead.
There's 2 dead birds hanging out of 2 different gourd houses, and so we're concerned about that. We don't know that it's related, but it's alarming. You know, we have horses. We're concerned about the horses on the grass. We've got chickens. We sell our eggs at the market.
Now, the farmers that we spoke with are convinced that something in the air caused this damage. They're asking the USDA as well as other experts to look into this problem, and we are too. Reporting live downtown, Sean Scheibot, WREG News Channel 3.